Looking like a landslide victory for Governor Gavin Newsom. Voters saying no to the recall by about a 2-to-1 margin.
And here are the latest numbers. This was question one on the ballot, was should Governor Gavin Newsom be recalled? And this is the response, with 62% of the vote in at this hour. 66% of the voters saying no, he should not be recalled.
The second question, if he was recalled, who should be the person to replace him? Well, the front runner in that category was Larry Elder. He ran away with that one. We'll have those numbers in a little bit. Our Grant Lotus, there they are right there. He got 2 million plus votes, 45% of the vote among the 46 different opposition candidates who were on the ballot. So very impressive for Larry Elder. Our Grant Lotus joins us now in the studio with a closer look. If you can dig deep in a lot of numbers here all over the state.
Yeah, the numbers that really matter, though, Newsom, 66%. And when he won in 2018, he won with 62% of the vote, an easy victory over John Cox. You know, none of the polls had him exceeding that 62% mark, and that is exactly what happened. We have our map here showing where things stand, and we'll zoom in on the Bay Area, show you how the Bay Area voted. San Francisco is the local county where the most voters, percentage-wise, said no to the recall. Almost 87% in San Francisco. Again, green means they voted no, the majority. Yellow means the majority voted yes to the recall. San Mateo County, about 80% said no. Santa Clara County, 76% no. Alameda County, more than 83% said no to the recall. Nearby Contra Costa County, 74% said no to the recall. Solano County, now Solano County was the one local county that I guess had the most yes votes, but even so, the majority, 67% said no to the recall. Napa County, 70% no to the recall. Sonoma County, 78% no to the recall. And Marin County, almost 85% of the voters there said they want to keep the governor in office, at least for right now. Pam and Ken, will zoom down to Southern California, where we've been talking about how this race was largely not decided, but certainly solidified. And this is where it became apparent that there is just no path for any other candidate. The governor going to remain. Most populous county in the state, LA County. Almost 74% of the voters wanted to keep Newsom. We go just south of that to Orange County, and this is an interesting outcome here, because in Orange County it was virtually tied in 2018 with Cox and Newsom, but here you see 53% compared to 46% wanted to keep Newsom in office. In Riverside County here, John Cox beat Newsom in 2018 in Riverside County, but still 54% of the folks there said no to the recall effort. And in nearby San Bernardino County, just north of Riverside, 57% said no to the recall. So when you see those regions of the state, the Bay Area, Southern California, they were overwhelmingly voting in the no column, and there is just no other path forward. The math doesn't work to unseat the governor.
Yeah, plenty of counties in far northern California that voted to recall Governor Newsom, but the numbers there are so sparse. I mean, there's just a few thousand compared to hundreds of thousands in the other counties.
Yeah, as predicted, this is how California has voted. This is how they voted for Biden and Trump. You got the Central Valley, a couple counties here near Tahoe, and then virtually all of Northern California minus the coast.
All right. Thank you, Grant, for that breakdown.
You bet.
Well, the state Republican Party has reacted to the election results, releasing a statement that says, in part, quote, while Democrats crow and celebrate, theirs is a hollow victory. California remains a state where surging crime, raging wildfires, crippling drought, a broken unemployment department, shuttered businesses, lost jobs, unaffordable housing, and suffocating taxes are a sobering reality. They will face voters in 2022 and be held accountable for their policies that have left too many Californians behind, unquote.
For more reaction to tonight's results, let's turn things over to our Catherine Heenan.
She's joined by our political experts. Catherine.
Yeah, and I want to ask them whether there are any national implications, fallout from this recall. Michael, what do you think?
I think that this is an interesting situation where you have a candidate who was the clear leader of those who were trying to replace, being the one who best exemplified the values of Donald Trump. And I think what you're seeing here is that Trumpism is still alive, it's still well, but in states like California, it is not as well as it had been even just a few months ago. These numbers show that even 26% of Republicans, according to our exit poll, did not vote for the recall. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they understand that their party cannot be led down the path of Donald Trump. Now, nationally, the electoral map is a lot different. You know, Trumpism can still have a powerful sway in states like Texas and Florida and elsewhere. So, you know, it's I think a mixed bag in terms of national implications, other than to say Trumpism is alive and it's well. And you saw it with the rise of Larry Elder in this recall election.
All right, Jonathan, how might this shake up the Republican Party on the national level?
You know, I'm not sure to what extent you'll see national implications from this race. I mean, California is a very dark blue state. I'm not sure that, you know, states in the South or in the Northeast are really going to look at this and say, you know, well, you know, I think they're going to say this is California, and regardless of what situations or circumstances, you know, if you're a Democrat running, you're going to have the upper hand. But I think locally here, it's going to have some very interesting implications, perhaps in the short term and the long term. I'm looking forward to what happens in 2022 already, because, you know, these problems have gone unaddressed for some time. The rise in crime, this movement to defund police, the nation's, the state surging homeless population. I mean, just a couple of years ago, there was a statistic that showed nearly half the nation's homeless population is right here in the state of California. Nothing's really being done to address that. In fact, things are only going to getting worse by the day. So, you know, conditions continuing to get worse. You know, things are only being exacerbated, from what I can see, by the current regime in place. So I'd like to see what happens, you know, down the road, 2022, even beyond. It's only a matter of time before more and more people start waking up. And I think that's what this recall signified. You know, and as I said earlier, the recall we saw in 2003 was the manifestation and the result of 2 prior attempts. So it was a 1, 2, 3 punch. The third one actually worked. So who knows if we're going to see another recall election, but I'm happy to see democracy at work, Catherine.
All right, Jonathan, thanks. David, what do you think, and what could be next for Newsom?
Well, I think there are, first, kind of set the stage for how this recall came about. It was extended by a judge under COVID for collection of signatures. There would have been additional efforts. So there clearly was an attempt to move this along at some level, if not through this effort or mechanism, through another effort or mechanism. Then you had this wacky kind of September 14th date, fall. What's this going to be? Why is the election now? You have Larry Elder running outside. You have this kind of just weird California set of conditions. From that, Gavin Newsom does incredibly well. He elevates himself. Maybe that helps Joe Biden in the short term, but Democrats have a lot of hard things to do in the next month. But it certainly makes Gavin Newsom someone that other Democrats nationally can gravitate to, that star power and talking about things. But there's some tough issues in this state that they have to solve. In addition, the 2022 midterm cycle is right here. If Joe Biden's approval is less than 50% in July, or the summer before the midterm elections, the president, if their approval is less than 50%, they lose 35 seats on average. They only can afford 3 or 4 seats. That means that Kevin McCarthy, another Californian, will play heavily for next year. So California is front and center, even though we just had this kind of weird, perplexing September 14th thing go on. And the Giants clinched the playoffs today. So it was a pretty good day, all in all.
Hey, Jonathan, I'm bouncing back to you just for a second because we're out of time. Did you see that one of our exit polls that we reported on a few minutes ago, 26% of Republicans voted to keep Newsom? I thought that was interesting. That's a pretty significant number. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, there's always those Republicans that, you know, beg to differ and think that, you know, the current governorship is doing an okay job or a fine job. I think there's also a lot of anxiety out there for people in general. You know, in the midst of a pandemic, they're saying, well, you know, the current governor has the reins, and I'm okay at this point. Why not just keep things the way that they are? So I'm actually happy that there's a difference, at least some diversity of opinion, because we also saw some Democrats vote to remove the governor as well. So I think the pendulum swings both ways.
All right. I just want to thank you, gentlemen, Michael, Jonathan, David's cat, who made a brief appearance. Thank you so much for your time. Pam and Ken, back to you.
Yeah, long night for everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks for your perspective. Down in Orange County, Larry Elder has conceded tonight, but he has not given up on running again in 2022.
Reporter Chris Wolf has been covering Elder, the frontrunner among the recall candidates hoping to unseat Governor Newsom. Chris joins us now live with the latest. Chris.
Yeah, good evening, Pam and Ken. I certainly doubt we have heard the last of Larry Elder. He left what was initially billed as his victory party here at the Hilton Hotel in Costa Mesa with a very energized, optimistic crowd, optimistic messages. People were cheering him on. He has certainly emerged as a very strong political presence, political candidate, political figure, and a lot of people are encouraging him to continue on with his political career and run for office next year, run for the governor's seat next year in 2022. He may have dropped a bombshell hint tonight. I don't know if a lot of people caught this. He may have dropped a bombshell hint tonight at the end of his speech, because as far as we all know, he's still doing his conservative radio talk show, but he said, you know, everybody, tomorrow when all the reporters ask me what is next for Larry Elder, as a former talk show host, I say stay tuned. So is he going to quit and focus on politics full time? Who knows? He also had this to say. Take a listen.
Issue of school choice. As you know, my opponent, Governor Gavin Newsom, let's be gracious in defeat. By the way, we may have lost the battle, but we are going to win the war.
All right, Larry Elder says, we've done our job for now. We have made a dent. He said, we are forcing them to do a better job on homelessness, on energy, on crime, and on a number of other issues plaguing the state of California. So again, I doubt that we have heard the last of Larry Elder. Reporting live in Costa Mesa, I'm Chris Wolf. Back to you.
Chris, Larry Elder did bring up the specter of voter fraud. Has he dropped that issue?
I doubt that, but for some reason he is not expounding on that. I asked him about that last night when I got to talk to him here during a rally last night. A lot of us expected him to say much more about that this evening, but he did not. He simply is saying, we're on it. We're working on it. We know about it. We're working on it. Talking about his circle of associates and his attorneys, he just said, we're on it. We're working on it. But I doubt that he'll drop that topic anytime soon.
All right, Chris Wolf reporting live for us from Costa Mesa tonight. Thank you for that. Of course, two of the other Republicans hoping to unseat Governor Newsom spoke tonight after the race was called.
Let's listen in on what they had to say, starting with businessman John Cox.
What the Republican Party needs to do is focus on the quality of life issues that I've talked about in this race. Making sure that we can build housing at an affordable price, making sure that we fix homelessness by getting people treated, making sure that we have enough water and electricity, that we have a variety of sources, that we have diversity of sources.
So to all of you here tonight, thank you. My wife, Catherine, my entire family who is here, and everybody across this great state, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a part of this campaign. Thank you for believing in California. I will leave you with this. Tonight was round one. There's more to come. Thank you, guys. Thank you all very much.
Again, just two of the 46 people who were on the recall candidate list tonight speaking out after the race was called for Governor Newsom. Some voters in the North Bay cast their vote on more than just the recall of Governor Newsom tonight.
It was another recall. There was a campaign to try to remove the Sonoma County District Attorney, Jill Ravitch, from office over her allegations by an opponent of corrupt hiring practices. Well, the latest numbers show that Ravitch will likely keep her seat. She has a resounding victory so far. 80% of the voters want to keep her in office. 19% wanted her removed. There's 47% of the vote that has been counted.